Do you ever feel you can't get it right? Uh, don't feel that way. Don't feel that way. And the reason that I say don't feel that way is because that's your stuff. That's not the other guy's stuff. That's not David's stuff. David's coming over worrying about the sound system and the recorder. He's not telling me I did something wrong. But our own stuff conjures that up and makes us express internally distress. And that's what my talk is going to be about today. So, I made some crib notes because I felt that this was important. So I didn't want to forget anything. I had a lot of stuff bubbling up this morning. And first I want to thank all of the friends and neighbors who stopped me on the street corners and asked me questions. Because what they do is they remind me of something about this practice. And they remind me that it's not easy. Okay? Now, it is easy, but it's not easy. Now, you know, you're saying, well, what in the hell is he talking about? Do you remember when you tied your shoes for the first time? Go back and think about that. Was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. But it was easy once we learned. It was really simple. It was like that old crap moment, like, how could I have ever thought this was a difficult thing to do? But between the understanding dawning on us about how to loop it, it was a difficult chore. It was a difficult task. It was a knot. And that's what the Dhamma is. The Dhamma is a knot. Until your understanding blossoms and it becomes easy. The point is that it has always been easy. You see the point? Okay. So, what is any system? A system is designed to develop understanding. That's all it is. To make it easier for the user, user-friendly. And the Dhamma is user-friendly. But until we understand the Dhamma, it's difficult. So what I have to do from time to time is to go back and remember when it was hard for me. And then I understand, I have compassion and empathy for those who still find something that is easy difficult to do, difficult to apply, difficult to implement, difficult to utilize. So, the system isn't broken because we don't understand it. You know, again, that's the answer to ask the question, well, why doesn't it work for me if it's easy to do? You know, why is it so difficult for me? Am I the problem? No, you're not the problem. But for so many years, we've misinformed ourselves. We have always assigned the fault to the other guy. The reason that I feel this pain in my heart is because of you. And we've said it forever. My mom didn't understand me. My dad didn't hug me enough. My boyfriend, my girlfriend, my school friend, my schoolmate, my teacher, my mentor, my pastor, my dentist. So we see that the reason it doesn't work is because there are many ways to misunderstand it. And that is totally dependent on the person who is using it at the moment. As an example, everybody knows what foul shots are, right? Yeah, everybody? Does anyone not know what a foul shot is? You don't. And it's NBA championship time? Kind of, sort of, yeah. Well, you get there and shoot it up in the thing, right? So when we understand what foul shots are, and then we say, well, let me start shooting foul shots. Let me see if I can become proficient at shooting foul shots. And so we stand up at the line with a basketball and try to put it through the net. And we don't get it through the net, and we think it's because we're crappy basketball shooters. But it's because we don't understand. The first thing to understand is that what is it in the system that's designed for me? You see, everyone who stands at the foul shot and shoots the basketball doesn't shoot it for exactly the same reason. They're not on the foul shot line practicing for the same reason. Some are because they've got too much energy when they throw the ball up there. Some because they don't have enough spin. Some because they don't have enough alignment. Some because they don't bend their knees. All types of reasons. So the first thing you've got to understand is why you're standing there in the first place practicing. It's not about the system. The system works. If it didn't work, it wouldn't be on the market. Do you see? In other words, why do we have so many weight loss programs? Because they worked for somebody. But the reason that there's so many is because they don't work for everybody. And the reason that they don't work for everybody is because they're not designed to work for everybody. They're designed to work for the specific alignments that cause it to work. So what we have to do first, we, you, me, everybody has to do first in order to make the system work is to find out why I am there in the first place. What is my misalignment? What is my impracticality? What am I there to correct for me? Not for the Buddha, not for the guy sitting across the aisle from me, but for me. What is my distortion? What is my delusion? What is my difficulty? Why is this not easy for me? Why does everybody else get it but me? Am I stupid? Well, remember when we had 2-year-olds and they asked us, where do babies come from? How do we make babies? We didn't tell them. But it wasn't because we felt they were stupid. We just felt that they wouldn't be able to engage the information in a way that they would understand how conception occurs. So we told them about storks. Now, I don't see how we thought storks were easier than what well, I just fell into this. I don't know how they got pregnant, but I just stumbled. But No, we didn't call them stupid. We try to design it in a way that satisfied their question. But then we have systems for children and we have systems for adults, and we're adults. So we don't have to candy coat it. We don't have to dress it up. We have to just present it. And so, like I said, the first requirement is that the person who comes to the foul line, the person who comes to the practice, understands why they are there. So before you use it, before you unwrap it, before you take the price tag off of it, before you crack the book, ask yourself, why am I here? What am I here to massage, to clear up, to identify? Why am I here? So my first question to you is, have you asked that first question? Because if you don't ask that question, you'll never get the answer. You'll always be digging through the book. You'll always be reading other books. You'll always be doing your practice. And you'll always be standing on the corner asking, why is this not working for me? So let's take a minute. Ask yourself that question. Why am I here? What is my misalignment? What am I here to correct? See, because first of all, if you have nothing to correct, there's no point in being here. If you're already perfect. But again, remember, you are already perfect. That's that whole thing about not understanding how easy it is. You know, it's easy, but it's not easy, but it's not easy because it is easy, and you don't see the easiness in it. A story. I didn't memorize my times tables. I didn't have time for that. Too much trouble, too much effort, too much work. But when I got into algebra class, I didn't learn algebra because I couldn't multiply. So I was still on problem number 2, counting on my fingers what 7 times 9 was. So I never understood the X's and the O's and the 2's and the parentheses. Because I was working with something very fundamental. Because I didn't get the first step. So I had to go to night school to learn algebra, to learn trig, so that I could understand engineering. I had to go back again. And that's all we're talking about. We're talking about not giving up on the system, but going back again. With a different mind, with a better understanding of who we are. See, I didn't know who I was when I was in the 7th grade. Well, when did I learn multiplication table? Well, I didn't learn multiplication table. Well, when was I supposed to? Well, 6th grade, right? 4? Times have changed. But you get the point. The reason that we misunderstand and do not benefit from the system is because we don't give it enough opportunity. We don't understand and how we don't know how to correct, how to realign our purpose. We again blame the other guy, in this case, the system. The system doesn't work. It's not me. You know, it's very hard, it's very difficult to say to yourself when you're full of pain and ache, sorrow and lamentation and despair, that it's all on me. Not that it's all on me, but I am the reason why it's all on me. It's hard to admit that. So we blame it on somebody else or something else. We say it's the system. The system is broke. Religion doesn't work. Prayer doesn't work. Love doesn't work. Kindness doesn't work. Friendship doesn't work. They are the faults. Because it's hard to say that the only reason that I've got this pain in my heart, the only reason that I think this day sucks is because I am the problem. And you're really not the problem. The problem is you don't understand what the problem is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it clear? Until we understand what the problem is, we can't solve the problem. And the problem is always with me. It's not with anything else. It's not the system that's broke. It's not the people that are broke. It's not the people that are bad. There's something delusional. There's something misunderstood inside of me that I have to fix to see everything clearly and simply and easily out here. So as long as I'm still looking out here, as long as I'm still trying to fix out here, as long as I'm still trying to elect another president to make it all right, it's not going to be all right. You know, this whole, talk about delusion, understanding delusion. This whole political scenario that this dance, this carnival that we're going through now is a delusion. We've always had presidents that lied to us. Trump is not new. Trump is not the only clown in town. We've always had clowns in the presidency. The delusion that the FBI is squeaky clean. The FBI has always been corrupt. Hoover was a joke. He was mean and vindictive, corrupt. He wasn't that hero. Well, he was a shero, but he wasn't that hero. So you see, we're asking this system, the present system, to be what the system has never been. That's the delusion. We want to make it great again. It never was great. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it wasn't great. But in order to fix it, you've got to see it clearly. You can't find the fault in it. When you see the problem, you can fix the problem. Okay, so you get the point. The point is, if you've got a problem, it's you. That's the point. It's you that needs to be realigned, not fixed. You're not broken because you're perfect. You've always had Christ nature, Christ consciousness. Or for our Jewish friends, God consciousness. For our Buddhist friends, Buddhist nature. Okay? You've always had it. It's always been there. It's been called those different things by different people, but it's all the truth is truth. Knowledge, wisdom is knowledge and wisdom. It doesn't come with that adjective that says it's because of this system that this works. All systems work. All theologies and philosophies are good. There are no practitioners that are broken and need to be fixed. You just don't know it. You always knew how to tie your shoe. Look at the kids now who don't know how to tell time. They know how to tell time. They just don't know how easy it is to tell time because they've had a clock that told them what time it was. But we're always not going to have calculators and digital watches. And even when we do, it's not always easy to understand what it is that they're telling us. But again, the first step is to remember that the system, the method, the practice is not broken. And also to remember that you are not broken. It's just that there's a misalignment, a misunderstanding. That's all it is. And it's not on the part of the system. It's on the part of me. See, I've got to know where to look to fix the problem. I can't fix it looking in the wrong corner. I've got to know where to look. And the look is to look inside me. To see what's going on, to see what's not quite aligned, not quite correct. So, first we find out why we're there. Why did I come to this moment? Why was I asked this question? It was so I could understand. Not this moment, but every moment. It was to understand not just this, but every this. You see, if I just look for this, if I just look for the answer on Thursday, appropriate to Thursday, then I'm still lost on Friday. I don't know what to do on Saturday. But when I am able to learn from Thursday's answer that it applies to every day of the week, for every week of the month, for every month of the year, for every year, forever. When I can see that this is that, when I can see that as above, so below, when I can see that, then I can see clearly. Then I am wise. I am enlightened. Because I can see everything in the grain of sand. I can see that everyone is my friend, that everyone is my brother, that everyone is empty. that everyone is worthy, that there are no people who are broken, that there are no people who are undeserving. And then I can embrace humanity and the ant and everything equally, because I see no difference in anything, because I see clearly. And that's what the systems are designed to do. But you've got to step up and ask the right question first. Why am I here? Follow me so far? Is there anyone not following me so far? So after the first question, oh, well, you knew.
Yeah, you know me. No, I'm following what you're saying, but recently, I've been reading a lot about the unconscious and how it really is maybe half of what we do, and we don't. It's buried, and you're putting your head down, which makes me feel like you are really thinking hard about what you're going to say.
I'm pondering.
And I think it's valid. I think it's very valid. I mean, it explains how we got the president we got. It explains a lot of things. And we started out, if you believe in evolution, we started out unconscious, and then consciousness developed. I mean, these are, scientists. It's not me talking out of my head or strange theories. It's people that have studied this.
No, there's someone else talking out of their head. It's just an opinion.
And
you can't be conscious and unconscious at the same time. If it's unconscious, it's not conscious.
Correct.
And if it's not conscious, I have no awareness of it. And if I have no awareness of it, it doesn't exist. If it does exist, it is not unconscious. It is not conscious.
So you're telling me you don't believe that?
I'm telling you that unconsciousness cannot be unconsciousness if I'm consciousness of it.
Oh, once you are aware of it, you understand it. I agree. But there's something there. There's something there.
Well, there's something there, but it's not unconscious. Well, it's all consciousness.
I mean, I can give you examples, but...
Okay.
Because you have to go back to the primitive kind of, early.
Well, what you want me to do is go back to when I was confused.
No.
And I'm saying, no, I'm not going to go back there. Because I spent too much struggle and time getting out of there.
Yeah, no, I mean back in time. You know what? I think it's a philosophical discussion, and I'm very interested in it, and I do believe a lot of our motivation we're not aware of. And
okay, but that's not our problem.
I'm not saying it's a problem, because it's not. But what I'm saying is, you're off the hook a little bit, because just like what you're saying, if you're unaware of what has motivated you for years, because of patterns in the back, things you're not even aware that you internalized,
because you're unconscious of what it is that you're doing consciously.
Yes. So I don't know. Maybe it's a different way of looking at.
What I'm saying to you is that we are always looking for hooks to get off of.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. Because probably patterned in my brain, people are, yeah.
So as long as we find an excuse, we don't look for the solution.
But this is not an excuse. It's a way to understand. You asked the question, why am I here? I'm really here because I'm interested in learning. I'm interested in wisdom. I don't know
For what
that
reason?
because that's who I am. I've always
For
been
what
that way.
reason do you want wisdom? Just to have it in your pocket? Just to
No.
go around and say, look what I got.
No, it's interesting.
Well, that's my point. My point is, I can seek out wisdom to put in my pocket to show off to people, right? I can say, look at the wisdom that I've got.
Yeah.
Or I can live the wisdom that I've got.
Can't you do
And
both?
I won't have to tell you about it because you'll see it. I'm saying let's transfer this from verbal communication and opinions and comments to facilitating the wisdom and utilizing the wisdom in a way that demonstrates its efficacy every second of my existence.
Okay.
Okay. So that way we won't elect clowns.
We won't.
Elect clowns. We won't elect people
I didn't
who are
understand.
not
Yeah.
qualified for the position that we put them in.
Okay.
And it's not their fault. See, it's not Trump's fault.
Oh, I understand that.
He's not to blame.
I'm not blaming him. And I'm not blaming anyone that voted for him either.
That's the point.
That's the point, and that's
That's
the
the
wisdom.
point.
Yes,
That's the
because
wisdom.
I understand where they were coming from, and that's the wisdom, and that's where I like to be.
Yeah.
That's where you are.
Yeah. So,
But don't you have to seek it or be open to it, or you'll just go on about your business and never, get to that wisdom, understanding?
It's easy, but it's not easy. But it is easy when we see how easy it is. And that's what we're talking about right now. That's what we're unwrapping right now, how easy it really is and how it always comes back to me. See?
okay.
And how we can see that it's really no one else's fault.
I agree. Yeah. We have no,
And if it's no one else's fault, then there's no one else to blame. And if there's no one to blame, what a perfect world this is. Thank you. You helped me dig into my unconscious.
anytime, Deepa. I got a million of them.
I'm glad you're back.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Welcome home.
Thanks.
Okay. So, there we are. Once you have the direction, once you have the answer to your question, why am I standing here shooting this basketball? Then you work with the 5 faculties. Who knows what the 5 faculties are? See, you're standing there with a basketball and you don't know why.
Like seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting.
No, that's the 5 senses. Which some people in other books call faculties.
I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Several start with A.
No. The 5 powers, the 5 faculties. The first one is faith. Faith. Which faith? Faith. Which draws us into confidence. Because if I don't have faith in something, I don't have confidence in it. You know, do you have faith in Trump? Oh, that's your unconscious talking now, right?
I don't understand what that means.
Okay.
Well, I think
Think
that
about it.
maybe you don't have faith in a person. You have faith not even a system, but you have faith that there is a higher source who's in charge of this universe, who is doing things with reasoning. And, we can only have our own opinions at this point because we're all in a process of growth and trying to reach our spiritual being. And it's a hard job. It's not something that I've taken lightly. I continue to do work in different areas, but I specifically work on me because I'm the only person that I have any ability to control. And so for me, each day, what I try to do is to surrender, to suit up, to show up. And why am I here today? Quite honestly, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm here because I was drawn to be here today.
Okay.
I had a calling that I should be here today. So
Okay.
I'm here. And that's
Okay.
the best I can do.
No, that's a good place to be. But hopefully what that will do is to usher you into your purpose.
Exactly. And basically, apart from faith, I have to trust the process. I have to trust that there is something going on that I just need to, as I said, suit up, show up, keep my side of the street clean, and keep moving forward every day. I've
Okay.
only got that one day.
Okay.
So, I'm not going to get into political discussions, but I believe in the bigger picture that the person that was elected, we don't even see what's going on, the dynamics that are involved and what he's doing and what the repercussions might be or the reactions.
Yes,
I mean,
we
it's
do.
pretty deep. It's pretty
Yes,
deep.
we do. We see.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you see it, but perhaps we don't. I can only think that in the future it'll be easier to look back and understand.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, as I said, it's best not to get into politics. But if it's
Yeah,
raining,
no,
if it's
no.
raining today, it's raining today. What can I do about it? I get my Wellington boots on and my rain jacket and I do what I have to do for the day. If it's a beautiful sunny day, I'm grateful and I go out and wow, spring has finally come,
Okay.
but I don't control the weather. So it's my attitude that I have to control. I have to just practice acceptance of
This is
each
true.
and everything. But I'll be quiet now because I know that whenever I come here, you really seem to get me going.
Then I've done my job well.
Maybe that's why I was here today.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that ultimately our eyes open up to the potential of the moment. That we no longer dwell in the duality of conscious and unconsciousness. In other words, the part we see and the part we don't see, or the part we understand and the part we don't understand. That when we look at everything, everybody, every raindrop, we see everything. In the moment is contained every truth. It's not, what I'm saying is we can talk politics, we can talk biology, we can talk metaphysics, we can talk physics, we can talk humanity, we can talk BS. And in all of those things, there is everything. And when we can turn that around and understand that the part of the elephant that I'm touching and I'm talking about is the same elephant that you're touching and you're talking about. is the same elephant that she's touching and talking about, then we got it. There is no difference. There is no next moment. There is no duality. There is no higher being. We are all that higher being. We just don't know it. I don't speak lightly when I say you all have Buddha consciousness or Buddha nature or Christ consciousness or God consciousness. I'm not sitting here BSing you, pumping you up, telling you to go back out and play with a broken leg. I'm not telling you that. I am saying that you are special and whole and perfect. And when you realize that, then the whole thing becomes easy. Because you're not trying to be like someone else. I can never be like God, but I can be like me. And when I become authentic in my me-ness, then I become God. But I have to have faith, one. I have to have persistence, two. In other words, the faith gives me the impetus to keep going, doesn't it? You keep coming back. Even though I don't agree with you, even though you don't agree with me, you keep coming back. Because you know it's not about you and me. Because you and me do not exist. It is about the dialogue we have that gives someone else here in this room some opportunity to say, oh, I get it. That they can speak out about it from different frames of reference and not get angry at the end of the day. That they can smile at each other at the end of the day just like they did at the beginning of the day. That you don't have to agree with me because you always agree with me. Even though you think you're not. That's how easy it is. And when I realize its easiness, I no longer have to struggle. I no longer have to work hard at it. I no longer have to convince you that I'm right and you're wrong. And it's that easy. Because when we stop that struggle, when we stop seeing the difference and seeing the sameness, when we erase the duality of things and understand the polarity, the noumenal, that there is no this and that, there is no above and below. There just is. There is nothing but love. There's nothing but divineness. There's nothing but patience and kindness. That's all there is. There are people who are not stepping out in that. There are people who are not walking in that. But that's not because they're bad people. They just don't know. They don't know why they're at the foul line shooting the basketball. They don't know that they have a basketball. They don't know what a basketball is. But they're shooting it anyway. And they're hoping that it goes through something. But they don't know what. Because they're still tying their shoes. But we learned how to tie our shoes by practicing. We didn't give up. Our mentor, whoever that was, that grandmother, that big brother, the father, the mother, whoever it was who showed us how to make that loop and pull that thing so that it was even on both sides of the knot, so that we could grab one end and pull it out and it would disappear. And we said, gee, this is easy. I can tie my shoe all by myself. And I'm saying that eventually in your practice, in your persistence, in your perseverance, in your enduring faith, in your system, whatever that system might be, whatever you call it, will give you that access to who you really are. And then you will realize there are no problems. There's just moments. There are just opportunities to do what God does. That's all it's for. And if you do like God does and act like God does, then you must be God. There's no blasphemy in that. That's what we call fruit. How will you know them? By their fruits. Doesn't say by their lineage. Doesn't say by their denomination. It says you will know them by their fruits, by what they do, by how they treat others. And if you think and if you know that you are God, then act like it. And others will know too. Not by what you say, but by what you do. And the only way to understand that is to implement that and to work at it. And once you do, you will become mindful. It's that easy. You want to be a God? Now see, there we go. We've diversified again. A God. That means there's another one. No, there's only one. That's everybody. There's not me and her. There's just it. Are there any questions or comments?
After faith.
Huh?
The 5 words. After faith. Faith, perseverance.
Faculties.
Oh,
Faculties.
Thank you.
heads up. You didn't get the 5.
Right. We only got the 2. You're slipping.
No, I'm testing you. I'm seeing if you're listening or not. If you're paying attention. Okay, so we got faith, energy or perseverance or effort. Now let me talk about something about effort and energy. It can't be forceful. It can't be insisting. It's got to be patient. You got to do it but without the expectation of something's going to happen. Just do it until you see it. Do it until you do it. Do it until you're satisfied. Okay, so with that comes mindfulness, being in the present moment, because that's all there is. Concentration and wisdom. And all of those things just fall into place. The first things we have to bring, the faith and the effort. If you don't put effort in it, you ain't going to get nothing. If you don't go to work, you don't get paid. If you don't shoot your foul shots, you don't get better. If you don't pray, you don't get answers. If you don't know who you are, you'll be anything. So, wisdom is already there. Concentration is already there. Every time you see something, you're concentrated. Concentration just means paying attention. Well, you pay attention to this, and then you pay attention to this, and then you pay attention to this, and then you pay attention to this. Mindfulness is about being aware that you're mindful of paying attention. And those three things occur because you have faith and you persist. So, what is this in a practical sense? Every time you get angry, every time you get fearful, every time you get depressed, every time you get worried, every time you get you get it. Every time you get anything, you realize that you don't have to do those things. That those things are happening because of your choices that you're making. And that in order to alter your state of mind, your state of reality, you have to make a different choice. I can't be angry, and I can't embrace anger, and I can't attach myself to anger and talk about wanting to be loving. No, I don't want to be loving if I'm angry. Well, but I can't help but being angry because that's what you did. No, I'm angry because I'm choosing and attaching myself to the energy of anger. If I don't want to be, then I've got to let it go. I've got to put it down. And I've got to embrace something different. Yes.
Sometimes for me, it feels good to be angry. Like, no, I want to be in my anger. I know I should be this other way, but I don't want to.
Another example of delusion. Anger never feels good. We just BS ourselves so that we can justify our immaturity of holding on to it. See, I mean, If I look at it clearly, I can go, are you crazy? You know? But because I don't want to be crazy, I've got to be delusional. And being delusional is being crazy. It's all the same stuff.
So I think that, if you've found serenity and peace, then it's something you really, that's where you prefer to remain. And so if someone else affects you, or, and you could turn to anger, that's a choice you can make. And so I play games with myself all the time because I have to figure out how to do things my own way a lot of times. And, of course, there's influence from listening to you. As you said, the penny drops sometimes when you hear things that other people are saying and sharing. But for me, it's turned out that if I get upset, instead of going, into a bad mood or being depressed or angry or whatever, then I've learned that I need to breathe, just breathe. And then I just say,
if you have a friend,
let it go.
If you have
and
a
it's
friend,
gone.
If you have a friend who's banging their head against the wall and saying it hurts, what do you tell them?
I let them do it because what am I, really.
Boy, the friends I choose.
I'm sorry, that is a choice. I may make a suggestion. Do you really think that's a wise decision that you're banging your head against the wall? What is it resulting in? Doesn't it give you a headache? Isn't it?
No, they've already told you.
Concussion?
They've already told you.
I don't know how you got to that stage.
They've said it hurts. And I don't like this.
Oh, okay.
And so you say, stop hitting your head.
No, I'd obviously just give them a hug and hold them close and tell them they're loved and that they shouldn't do that.
Well, so you got to the bottom line. You shouldn't do that. Stop. That's the bottom line. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I try not to tell people what to do anymore. It's not worth it.
If I felt that way, I'd stop doing what I'm doing.
Sorry?
If I felt that way, I'd stop doing what I'm doing.
If you felt
it's always worth telling people that they have a choice about whether they hurt themselves or not. Because everyone wants to feel good.
Everybody wants to feel loved.
Nobody wants to hurt. Nobody.
And if they feel loved, they won't feel hurt.
Okay.
No, love is the answer. I mean, those Beatles got it right. I mean, it really is. If you give love, you can see people like flowers blossoming.
Okay.
If you give anger, what comes back at you? Anger.
Okay.
If you smile at someone, I've been in countries where I don't speak a word of the language, but if I sit there and I find someone is looking at me and I give them a little smile, you know what happens?
We find we're touching
they
the
smile
same
back.
elephant.
They smile. They're a reflection of my smile.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
all
that's
right.
a form of love.
Let's get out and give it to them.
I try. Every day I actually do try to go out and spread love.
Let's do it. Okay.
But I'm not perfect, as you know.
Yes, you are.
I see my flaws. I'm going to argue on that one. I'm working towards being a better
They're
person.
Not your
but
flaws.
I'm not
They're
perfect.
just flaws.
Sorry?
They're not your flaws. They're just flaws.
Okay.
And
that need to be worked on.
Again, the vision is to see that and to stop owning them. See, owning them is attachment. As long as they're mine, I'm going to hold on to them and I'm going to keep them for tomorrow and the next day and the next day. In other words, they continue to manifest. They continue to be my fruit. But when I stop owning them, when I stop becoming attached to them because they are mine, that is when I am able to let them go. I can't stop being angry. But that's because my mother didn't hug me and my daddy didn't love me. No, I can't stop being angry because I don't stop being angry. Because I'm owning it, I'm attached to it. This is the whole premise in this philosophy. Attachment. And if you don't like it, let it go. That's the easiness in this philosophy. Yeah, but it's mine. I deserve it. Let it go.
Isn't that
Whatever
what I said?
argument you give yourself, whatever excuse, whatever hook you're using to justify holding on to your anger one more day, it's mine. It's my fault. It's my brokenness. It's my stupidity. It's my habit. What you're justifying is your clenched fist. When I access the wisdom that says I have a choice, that this is not mine, this just is here. It's for me to learn from. And what is my learning curve? What is my aha moment? What is my awareness? That I can do this. That just as I can hold it near and own it, I can let it go. My head doesn't explode. My heart doesn't explode. I've just changed the condition. I have stopped suffering. I have stopped being an angry person. I have stopped being a fearful person. I've stopped being a judgmental person. I've stopped being whatever I've stopped being. And I've become what I've always been.
Almost like what we've always been, the purity and the love and the oneness is there always,
All the
and then the other
time.
junk gets on top of it.
All the time.
Okay.
Every day, everywhere, all the time. It's that easy. But it's not that easy because it's that easy. And that's where we started, and that's where we ended, and that's what it is all the time. We're always in the same place all the time. It's that easy all the time.
I'm going to share another little game that I play with myself because it's right along the same lines, and I call it my 3 A's.
Okay.
So first of all, I have to be aware of whatever is going on around me.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it isn't going on around me, it's just in my head, my perception.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm aware of it, then the next thing I have to do is I have to accept it
Mm-hmm.
and take responsibility. And then is my challenge, because I have to get into action, because only I can make a difference and change and let it go.
There you go.
So, I mean, basically, we can sit here for the next 4 hours and discuss it, but it does all boil down, to very, as you say, it's just very, very simple. But the simplicity is amazingly challenging and hard work to arrive at. I mean, it is a process.
As was our tying our shoes until
Exactly.
it became easy.
Exactly. Now I can do it blindfold.
Okay.
Right. But I
There you
remember
go.
my grandmother teaching me, do the loop, turn it around. Yep. I agree. And, and that's why we have to have discussions like this and people in positions like you, whether they are Catholic priests or, whatever. It doesn't matter because we have to gain knowledge somewhere and somehow reading books.
I love you too.
I love you so much. You really, I do. I feel a real connection floating over here between us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you all. And you'll always remember the 5 faculties. Or the 2 faculties. Well, I don't know about you guys, but it makes me want to light up a cigarette. I've enjoyed myself. Okay. Go out and continue to enjoy your day. Share the fruits of your wisdom with those around you. Spread the joy. There's a whole lot of people in despair. There's a whole lot of people who have the blues. And what we know that they don't know is that you don't have to. Well, I've said enough. May all beings be liberated from suffering. May we be well. May we be happy. May we be peaceful. Thank you so much for everything you do.